Hello, everyone. My name is Carly Hess, and I'm an English instructor at Garden City Community College. Can you tell? It's behind me, the campus. I teach online, and technology can be amazing, like making me appear that I'm coming to you live from Garden City, Kansas. However, today we're going to talk about the elephant in the room where technology kind of fails us, and that has to do with AI in the classroom. So we're going to get into it right now, folks. The title of this video is Why Using AI is Academically Embarrassing. Notice I say academically because using AI is not always embarrassing. If you're sitting here saying, Carly Hess, what is AI? I'm happy to tell you. It generally stands for artificial intelligence, and it has lots of cool applications for everyday life. For example, the spam filter on your computer. That's a pretty cool application of AI. But when it relates to ChatGPT, that's where things start to get a little bit sticky. So today we're going to be talking about artificial intelligence in the form of specifically ChatGPT or any other bot that generates text. ChatGPT launched in November of 2022. It is new, it is recent, it is setting ripples across all of academia because it is a computer that can spit out papers if given a prompt. And so almost immediately, students were using it to write papers, which, I mean, if you heard that something like that existed, it's very tempting to want to try it out. But here's some misconceptions about AI that I think are really important to address. It's not actually good at writing papers for your classes. That's why it's academically embarrassing. And I'm going to elaborate on that in the next slide. But there's a rumor out there that AI can't be detected, that if you submit a paper that's written by ChatGPT, that your teachers won't recognize it. That is absolutely not the case. There is a built-in mechanism on Turnitin to identify AI, and there's also other software detectors that are being developed all the time, and it's improving exponentially. Keep in mind, ChatGPT just came on the scene in November 2022, so detectors are getting better and better at determining whether or not something's AI. It's actually very obvious when AI is being used. For example, AI is terrible at writing a clear sentence. AI is a text generator, and I think there's a misconception that AI can produce really intellectual thoughts for students, and it can't. The G in ChatGPT stands for generative. So it's like predictive text on your phone. It's as if you just push the predictive text button over and over again and sent a text. If you've ever used predictive text before, it can get pretty silly, and so can ChatGPT when it's writing a paper. Citing. ChatGPT is terrible at citing, and something that's very humorous to me about ChatGPT is that it continually cites Smith because Smith is the most common last name in the United States. So it can't trace. In order to cite, you have to have one source that you're referring to, and ChatGPT is pulling from the entire internet to create generative text. So it doesn't know where all of this is coming from and certainly doesn't narrow it down to one source. So it just kind of randomly, weakly, repetitively inserts Smith throughout the paper. So that's a pretty big tell. What Smith, where, a lot of credit is going to the Smiths of the world, thanks to AI. Most importantly, AI cannot critically think or analyze for you. It does not think for you. It does not develop conclusions. So just like the predictive text in your phone, you'll kind of get, if you just keep clicking it, you're going to get a really circular sentence. And that's really all that it does. It creates these circular sentences. AI is cool, though, in some ways. So for example, search engines are run by artificial intelligence. Language translation applications are run by artificial intelligence. Really tiny surgical procedures, very useful, okay? Love a computer for that, all right? Love replacing a human with a computer for fine-tuned surgeries, all about it. However, it is very bad at writing Instagram captions because I like to play around with ChatGPT and see what other ways it can be useful outside of academia. And it just kept spitting out really millennial captions for me. I said, write a cool Instagram caption, and it said, leveling up, no cheat codes needed, with these hilarious emojis, hashtag boss mode engaged. What I'm trying to tell you is that you can level up with no cheat codes needed. You do not need to use ChatGPT because you are smarter than ChatGPT. For example, a fun little moment, I asked AI why it shouldn't be used in school. This is what it spit out for me. It said, The use of AI in education, including schools, can have both positive and negative effects. It's important to consider various factors when deciding whether or not to use AI in a school setting. Already, I'm falling asleep. Already, there is a way simpler way that you can say that first part of the sentence. But the reasons it gives is cost and accessibility, job displacement, ethical concerns, and privacy issues, all of which are very convoluted. And again, if this was just a student paper, and I didn't know that they used AI, hint, hint, I would, because it sounds like a computer wrote this. However, it's just not a very good first paragraph. It's very circular, could be said a lot more simply, and yeah, unnecessarily complex, because we are smarter than computers still, folks. If you remember nothing else from this presentation, we are still smarter. If you ever feel tempted to use AI, for example, you're coming up against a deadline, you're running out of time, I totally empathize with that. Just remember that there is detection software out there, super embarrassing if push comes to shove and we have to have a conversation about that. But also remember that you're much better at thinking than a long form predictive text generator. You just are. You're so much smarter than that. And anything that you can produce, even under a time crunch, is going to be better than what you could submit with AI. You can always email me if you're my student, of course. You can always email me and I will help you, because I am a human teacher and I am not a predictive text generator. I love what I do. I love to help students. And if you're ever feeling in a bind, ChatGPT is not your friend. It is academically embarrassing.